Nuestra Familia, Spanish for Our Family, is a criminal organization of Mexican-American, Chicano, prison gangs with origins in Northern California. While members of the Norteños gang are considered to be foot soldiers of Nuestra Familia, being a member of Nuestra Familia itself does not signify association as a Norteño. Some law enforcement agents speculate that the Nuestra Familia gang, which operates in and out of prisons, influences much of the criminal activity of thousands of Norteño gang members in California. The gang's main sources of income are distributing cocaine, heroin, marijuana, and methamphetamine within prison systems, as well as in the community, and extorting drug distributors on the streets. Nuestra Familia was organized at Correctional Training Facility in Soledad, California, in 1965. In the late 1960s, Mexican-American inmates of the California state prison system began to separate into two rival groups, Nuestra Familia and the 1957 formed Mexican Mafia, according to the locations of their hometowns. The north-south dividing line is Bakersfield, California. The inmates who formed the Nuestra Familia gang banded together to protect themselves from the Mexican Mafia, but then grew to be involved in drug dealing, extortion, and robbery. Nuestra Familia are prison enemies of the Southern Chicanos, who consisted of La M.A., better known as the Mexican Mafia. While the Mexican Mafia had initially been created to protect Mexicans in prison, there was a perceived level of abuse by members of La M.A. towards the imprisoned Chicanos from rural farming areas of Northern California. The spark that led to the ongoing war between Nuestra Familia and members of the Mexican Mafia involved a situation in 1965 in which a member of La M.A. stole a pair of shoes from a northerner at Duell Vocational Institute in Tracy. This event put into motion the longest-running gang war in the state of California. The Nuestra Familia was not recognized as a prison gang by the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation until 1979, since the written constitution of the Norteños stated that the gang's leaders resided in Pelican Bay State Prison in California. The relocation of the 5 leaders led to turmoil among its members. The leadership vacuum resulted in a power struggle between prospective generals. Eventually, 3 new generals came to power at Pelican Bay, yet 2 were demoted, leaving only David D.C. Cervantes as the highest-ranking member of the gang in California. Cervantes' rise marked the first time in decades that the Norteños had a single leader at the helm of their criminal organization. The remaining leadership of the organization in Pelican Bay consists of Daniel Stork Perez, Anthony Chuco Guillen, and George Puppet Franco. While all Nuestra Familia soldiers and captains in California are expected to follow the orders of Cervantes, a small percentage of the gang remains loyal to the former generals and captains imprisoned in Colorado. Former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger had complained that keeping the 5 remaining gang leaders located in the same prison only continued to add to California gang violence, and that they should be scattered throughout different prisons. While the recognized leaders of Nuestra Familia in Pelican Bay ask that members respect the former leaders, they have been effectively stripped of their authority. While Nuestra Familia is primarily a Chicano gang, membership sometimes extends to other Latinos as well as non-Latinos. Members of the organization are considered to have taken a blood oath to join the gang and are considered lifelong participants. Nuestra Familia's written constitution allegedly states that no member should prioritize women, money, or drugs, over their membership in the gang. Membership in the gang extends beyond prison. Women are not allowed to become full-fledged members of Nuestra Familia, but are sometimes used for communication and drug-running purposes, as they are considered less likely to be noticed by law enforcement agents. The NF has a formal written constitution and a membership of approximately 250, with an additional 1,000 associates. Members of Nuestra Familia are known to wear red bandanas, red rags, to identify themselves. Other symbols include use of the number 14 or 14, as the letter N is the 14th letter of the English alphabet. Nuestra Familia members often use the image of a sombrero with a machete as their gang symbol. Federal law enforcement agencies, long unable to infiltrate Nuestra Familia, began to step up their investigations in the late 1990s. In 2000 and 2001, 22 members were indicted on Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organization Act, RICO, charges, including several who were allegedly serving as high-ranking gang leaders while confined in Pelican Bay. 13 of the defendants pleaded guilty. The other cases are still ongoing. 2 of the defendants faced the death penalty for ordering murders related to the drug trade. The largest of the federal investigations was Operation Black Widow. At the time of Operation Black Widow, law enforcement officials had estimated that Nuestra Familia was responsible for at least 600 murders in the previous 30 years. In the aftermath of Operation Black Widow, the 5 highest-ranking leaders of Nuestra Familia, James Tibbs Morado, Joseph Pinky Hernandez, Gerald Cuete Rubalcaba, Cornelio Tristan, and Tex Meren Hernandez, were transferred to the United States Penitentiary, Florence ADX, the federal supermax prison in Colorado. In April 2010, federal and local law enforcement agencies concluded what was considered the most significant effort to dismantle the Central Coast leadership structure of Nuestra Familia. After months of investigation, at least 37 alleged gang members were arrested during the raids conducted. Law enforcement authorities seized 40 pounds of cocaine, 14 pounds of marijuana, and dozens of firearms. On June 11, 2013, Santa Clara County District Attorney Jeff Rosen announced the indictment of 48 Nuestra Familia associates on 77 felony charges, ranging from drug dealing to murder. What began as a fight for respect inside prison has turned into a decades-long criminal empire. Nuestra Familia's war with the Mexican Mafia is far from over, and while law enforcement continues to battle them, one thing is certain: as long as there are prisons, gangs like Nuestra Familia will continue to thrive in the shadows. For more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to Real Crime Stories Daily.